Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today, in this video, I'm gradually getting further away from the presentation thing. I'm doing another episode of Redstone Basics. Yes, this is a series where I teach you about basic redstone components, contraptions, and circuits. And if you don't know what any of those words mean, then stay tuned and watch all my other episodes. I will have the link to the full playlist linked in the description, as well as the link to my previous video on pulse extenders. And these are the only two videos that I have right now, but if you're watching this video in the future, I might have more. And don't look at that, that's spoilers for the next video. But yes, today we are talking about pulse extenders. I mean, pulse shorteners. Yes, the exact opposite of what we were talking about last time. Now, if you don't know what a pulse shortener is, or what a pulse is, then a pulse essentially is just how long the redstone stays lit. Like, you hit a button, your pulse is like 2 seconds or something like that. I don't know the exacts. But we measure it by ticks. There are different ways to get different tick pulses, and that is, a tick is, well, a tick is an amount of delay that repeaters cause. You press the repeater and to add more ticks. This is a 1 tick delay, 2 tick delay, 3, 4. And then you add them together to make more delay, but that delay is different than a pulse. The pulse is a pulse that lasts a certain amount of ticks. Well, here is a basic design for a pulse shortener. In the last video, we talked about how to make your pulse longer for certain contraptions. This is talking about making them shorter. It does not have quite as many practical uses as the pulse extender in the Bedrock edition, but there are situations, such as making cobblestone generators like what you see over there, possible. Or, well, they're possible regardless, but making them way easier. So what I have down here is, I have a piston down there. This redstone dust is powering the block underneath it, and it's also powering the block it's facing. So this repeater will take the signal from this block and power this piston. And this block, since it's touching the piston, this piston will get powered because it's a redstone component. And if I flick this lever, you see we get a brief pulse in this piston over here. It's pretty cool, and you obviously see that the redstone lights up. That is a basic design. This is a 1 tick pulse, I believe. This causes a 1 tick pulse, or maybe a 2 tick. I'm not exactly sure. It's a short pulse, okay? It's a short pulse. I believe it's a 1 tick pulse, but don't quote me on that. And here's a way to, here's like an example of a toggleable design, because this design, I don't believe there's much way to change it. Well, that, we just created a pulse extender, but that's besides the point. But here, depending on the amount of ticks you have in this repeater, affects how many ticks the pulse lasts. So this redstone wire is instant, but a repeater has a delay. So if I flick this lever, it powered this block, and this repeater received the power from the redstone dust. And then it powered this piston briefly, and this repeater is powering the piston just shortly after this block got powered. And the piston head is a transparent block, so a transparent block means it cannot conduct redstone power. So that's why the pulse got cut off after the piston extended. So that's some interesting stuff. And over here is a 0 tick pulse generator. This was a 1 tick pulse. If you want to make it a 2 tick pulse, you add another tick here, and then you have a slightly longer pulse. 3 ticks, 4 ticks. And if you want to make the pulse even longer than that, you just add another repeater. Just make sure the dust is still going directly in. Yes, you can make different lengths of pulses. Most commonly used to make a 1 tick pulse. Yeah. But this is a zero tick pulse, which I believe is technically a glitch, but it is a future-proof glitch, which means it cannot really be patched because of the way the game is designed. If they were to patch it, they would just be forced to create another way to do it. So it's impossible to remove. It might get changed in the future, but it cannot be removed. It's a zero tick pulse. The way the game is coded, comparators process just before repeaters. So this comparator will power this block just before the repeater powers the piston, like a single tick before, or less than a tick before. And it's so quick that the redstone dust doesn't even light up. Like, watch the redstone dust back there. It didn't even light up. But it still powered this piston here. So, and also another property of it is that repeaters are not affected by it. Let's say you add another piston over here. Repeaters cannot receive a signal from a zero tick pulse redstone dust. There you go. So, yes, there are some uses for that, for making absurdly compact devices. There are other ways to generate zero-tick pulses, but I'm not exactly sure how those work, so here is just a basic method. A comparator, repeater, dust, lever, dust. Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that. This is another way to generate a zero-tick pulse. By powering two repeaters into some redstone dust, that creates another zero-tick pulse. The dust doesn't light up. I'm not completely sure why this functions, because repeaters are supposed to activate at the same time. So you'd think, if anything, it would cause a one-tick pulse, but no, it does not. So it creates another zero-tick pulse. So there's another method to create a zero-tick pulse, and over here is an example of when like something goes wrong with the zero-tick pulse. You have to remember that repeaters do not function with zero-tick pulses. Repeaters can be used to create a zero-tick pulse, but they cannot transmit a zero-tick pulse. So this piston does not extend, even though there's a pulse going to it. Well, there's no pulse going to it because this repeater does not receive the pulse. Same if you were to do it like this. You see that piston did not extend. And I believe the same goes for comparators and certain other redstone components. Just about anything that has a light update doesn't function. I'm not positive about the specifics. Let me know in the comments down below if you want me to do another Redstone Basics video on how zero-tick pulses work. And I will do some research on that and make another video. But that is it from me for now. And I know this is a challenging time. We're all stuck at home, but you have YouTubers. YouTubers are still making YouTube videos, so hopefully you can watch YouTube and just mindlessly absorb all of the Minecraft content and everything else. But, that is about all I have. This has been The Brain, signing off. Goodbye.